How is Finland one of the happiest countries in the world? The more I learn about Finland, the more I'm convinced they have figured it all out. There's a problem. They fix it. Students aren't learning. They change the curriculum completely. And now they all speak 3+ languages. And don't do homework. Love that country. While I don't think the suicides change how they measure happiness much, there is per capita to be taken into consideration. It might not even be a factor in the happiness index. They have one of the highest death rates from drugs in Europe, so it's no wonder they feel so happy when they're high AF. Actually, the suicide rate is less than USA. So it isn't that bad. It is a very beautiful country and people are very proud about their country. Low criminal rate as well. Bad point might be the long dark times in some regions. Wrote a paper on this happiness research. Generally, the methodology of the initial happiness research conducted is based on how the individual cultures define contentment by their current values and how do they perceive their current stance with their overall inherited culture. On the intercultural ground, some of the values cannot be translated, hence thoroughly defined by such methodology. So we've got such differently informed opinions on the mentioned research. At least this was my conclusion to my draft. Well, they don't treat their citizens like a resource that should be stretched as thin as possible to build wealth for a handful of billionaires, while investing as little as possible in the citizens. It turns out things like education, healthcare, workers' rights, livable wages, affordable housing and a criminal justice system that's built around rehabilitation are good investments for the vast majority of your population. But you know what Jesus said? Fuck those lazy bastards. What is the number one issue that the USA is facing in the next 10 years? Everyone is saying politics, but honestly it's cost of living. How many people can afford a house and don't live paycheck to paycheck? Some of that involves politics, but cost of living is mainly the cause of corporation interference. The same issue it's been facing the last 10 years, a blatantly corrupt government that always puts the interests of companies over the American people. Congress can keep giving themselves raises and increasing the Pentagon's budget without a problem, but putting money toward healthcare or education or anything that benefits the people is socialism, and we can't have that. Only the politicians that are already rich from all the bribes get their healthcare paid for by taxpayers. It seems that the economic blind eye to the debt load versus the growth of the producing population in the effort to buy support/votes would factor into this argument. That said, essentially commercial airwaves have been divided into us/them and are controlled by those who see political alignment as having giving them influence over political electeds to further their own interests. Media has become anything but reliable, whether it be social, over the air, printed or whatever. There are very few voting Americans who have a clue of what the true situation of the country is, where it stands in the world, or how to stabilize this situation. Politics. Majority of young people and immigrants are left-wing voters. The right-wing party already has dishonorable tactics, gerrymandering, calling votes at 4 a.m. And they will continue to get more cutthroat to retain power. It's not a matter of opinion to say that statistically, there will be a considerable number of new voters for left-wing in the next decade. And a fair number of right-wing baby boomers dying as well, creating a very real change in the voting demographics. Where did you go on your first date? We met on a camping trip with mutual friends. The trip was 4 days long. So our first date was kinda 4 days long too, because we couldn't be separated after that. It originally driven to the campsite with another person, but I left with her. We got back into the city and ate at Waffle House. So I guess Waffle House is the most correct answer? Edit. I just realized you said first date and that was back in high school, but I really don't remember. I remember the boy I had a date with, but not what we did. My first date was to the movies to see Blades of Glory. My mom literally dropped me off at the movies and picked me up. Absolute cringe. My first date with my current and most long-term BF was to an Indian restaurant. Funny how I found out after that he only went to impress me and actually will not eat any ethnic food. We got coffee and then drinks and a joint in a pub in Dublin City. We sat in the smoking area that was a kind of tent filled with red lights. I think the Christmas tree was up too if I remember correctly. 4th of December. I'm taking this to mean you and your partner's first date. I don't care to recall the others, haha. The dog parked my pupperino and I picked up my date and he actually said hi to my dog first, and this was the first time we were meeting in person, just the two of us, which I thought was funny and endearing cause we're both obsessed with dogs. We even had our first kiss in the forest there. It was just right. My first date ever was unplanned. My date took me to this solemn yet vintage coffee shop that was located on a hill and the outside view was an abandoned castle. We were the only customer at that time. It was during the regional school sports fest. We were supposed to watch and cheer for our school teams, but we ditched it instead. How do I, a woman, ask a man if he's interested in me or just playing around? Just like that. What if you opened yourself up to him, asking you out? If he says you're cute, say something like, then why haven't you asked me out yet? I don't think I have ever called a girl cute when she smiles if I was only her friend. I'd say he is definitely showing interest. But maybe a little shy. Ask him out. It's the only way you'll find out. Definitely ask him out if you're into him. Sounds like he is interested. We guys tend to be shy with asking out. And we are bad at picking up subtle hints/flirting. During one of your flirtations interactions, try to bring up something active, a concert, a talk at the local uni, downtown pub crawl, It doesn't matter as long as it is something you would truly enjoy and that you suspect he might too. Then, offhand while you are glancing at your phone, be like, oh yeah, did you know XYZ is at ABC on Saturday? I was supposed to go with Ali but she has to LMN up. I want to try to get a group to go, would you be interested? Or just say, so, when are we going out? Seductive smile. I'm autistic and struggle with this as well. Ask him. Tell him you need him to be clear with you. If he can't do that or doesn't want to do that, he's not the right guy for you anyway. As an autistic guy, I use mirroring. So if I think I'm picking up on someone's behavior, he'll do it right back and gauge their response. Try complimenting something physical about him that you like. Does he have built arms? Ask if he goes to the gym. Does his cheerful mood make you feel happy? Let him know that. By complimenting him back you are sending the message that you are aware of him physically and want him to know that. Then you can gauge his response and hey, hopefully he ups it to the next level for you.